Welcome to Living Teal at the Table with Fare, the destination to talk about anything and everything, but most of all food. Because we're here to make sure what you eat makes you feel great and never makes you sick. A seat at the table is brought to you by Fare, taking the fear out of food, one breakthrough at a time.
Guess who's back? Back again. Tiffany's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Yes, it is the September podcast edition of Fares at the Table, and I am Jason Linde.
And I'm Tiffany Leon. Yes, I'm back. It has been a whirlwind of a maternity leave. No one ever prepares you for that. Let me just say, there is no scrimmage. It is the big game the moment you have that child. So it's good to be back at the table. Hi, Jason. We have an exciting guest with us today.
Yes,
Bradley Martin. Yeah.
Yes, we do. And, you know, for Brad, before we get to Brad, I do want to just have you spend just a moment or two about motherhood. It is delightful to see you again. We're happy to have you back. I know that your son, James, is in the best possible hands. And so any reflections while you were away? Any thoughts?
Yeah, he's in great hands right now. We've got daddy daycare in full effect. My husband's on paternity leave right now, so he is taking care of my son. I just pop in for feedings every now and then. But those first couple of weeks, exhausting, very, very exhausting. I've been told that you get sleep eventually, but for right now, we're just living on a prayer. Motherhood is everything that they say that it's going to be: tiring, exciting, all of it, in one little, 6, however many ounces he was, 7 pounds, 2.5 ounces of screaming joy.
That's right. And it only gets better. I mean, from first steps to kindergarten to, lo and behold, getting behind the wheel and driving around, it just only gets better with every experience. And as a mother, you have the central role in his life, for no one can ever replace you. And so, good luck. We're with you. We look forward to hearing more stories about you and James in upcoming episodes. And now we turn to our guest, Brad Martin. Brad, who is a very popular TikToker. He's got 1.7 million followers. He's got more than 80 million likes. That is amazing. And so we welcome him to our college edition of Back to School. Brad Martin, let's see you, sir.
Hello. How are you doing?
Man. Good. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Well, Brad, we're just going to start at the outset where we start with all of our guests. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm 19 years old from Bloomington, Illinois. On one front, I'm a student. I'm about to go off to college for my sophomore year. And then on the other side of things, I'm also a content creator on TikTok as well as Instagram and YouTube. And I just do a ton of short form content.
And it's hilarious, folks. And at the end of this podcast, we'll make sure you follow Brad like another 1.7 million people do. And it's great. I watched it. I loved it. Brad's one of Brad's signature moves is the sunglasses. And I do love the sharing with your little brother, the bro code. That one was hilarious. But Brad, tell us about your connection to food allergies.
Yeah. So ever since I was born, I've had a ridiculous amount of food allergies. I'm allergic to pretty much every plant under the sun, all dairy products, which includes a bunch of things like people don't think of, like pizza, chocolate, etc., ice cream. I'm allergic to eggs, all kinds of nuts, just a very long list of foods and plants. And I have been, my entire life, but just recently I've actually started to outgrow some of them, thank goodness. So that's been pretty cool, but definitely hoping to outgrow more in the future.
Fantastic. Yeah. I lived that dairy life. I had it too. I was allergic to all milk products, and Halloween really stunk. Giving my brother the Reese's, the Three Musketeer bars, everything chocolate. And of course it's great to pass up chocolate and pizza when you're 8, 9, and 10 and everyone else is having it. Hey, tell us what it's been like for you for this past year. Obviously, it's been a wild and bumpy year for all of us with the pandemic, but you layer on top of that, you got the food allergy piece, and it sounds like you were also going to college as well. So, talk to us a little bit about what a crazy last year it's been.
Yeah, so this past year kind of flipped my whole schedule all over just because I was planning on going to college in person, and then all of a sudden this COVID thing hit, and I end up all online. So I actually did school all online from my house this past year, which for my allergies, which was a huge relief, let me tell you. Just because I mean, I gotta enjoy my mom's cooking. I gotta, not have to worry about being in a completely different state and worrying about my allergies. The comfort of my own home, which has been super nice. I went to community college for a year, got my associates done, and now I'm heading off to Austin, Texas. So that'll be a big transition. Oh yes, hook 'em. But once we get there, we'll have to start worrying about the food allergies a bit more. I've had to do quite a bit of research in trying to figure out what programs, what procedures they have all down there, just to kind of keep me safe, kind of, make sure I don't have any major reactions while I'm dining at their dining halls down there.
Okay, you're jumping ahead a little bit, but I was going to ask you what the process has been like when you were looking for schools. FAIR offers our FAIR college search tool. I don't know if you use that at all or if you, kind of went your own route, but can you explain your journey a little bit to us?
Yeah, I don't know that I use the FAIR allergy search tool for finding colleges, but I was just like on Google. It was very much so. My first priority was finding schools with my major because I wanted to do advertising, which is sort of a rare major at some universities. A lot have marketing, but not advertising. So I've been like, let's find a school with that. And then once I find all the schools with advertising majors, let's figure out which ones can, complement my allergies. I want to make sure that I'm not going to go there and then not going to be able to find anything to eat. So it was very much me looking on Google, checking different websites, using these resources to find out which colleges have friendly dining halls, friendly health services places, just the dorms in general, and having a safe area that I can, live without being too worried. Just because a really bad thing that I've had to think about is getting a roommate who, enjoys eating peanuts or peanut butter all the time, just because, you're in college, peanut butter sandwiches all the time, according to a lot of my friends, at least. But, if someone eats those around me, I start, getting some of my symptoms flared up from my allergies. So that's something that I've had to be very conscious of. And I was just kind of looking which schools online had the best systems for dormitories, dining halls, and their health services.
So in the process, I'm sure obviously Google is a great tool, but I'm sure you spoke to someone on campus just to confirm what the internet says was accurate.
Yes.
At what point in your journey did you, I guess, once you decide on University of Texas, at what point did you disclose your allergies to the school, or did you just do it when you were looking for a roommate, or when you had to decide your meal plan? Did they ask you about that in your admissions process or
Yeah.
any
So
paperwork?
beforehand, before I sent in my application for some of the schools I was really serious about thinking of going to, I would call, their health services, and I would ask, how are your allergy procedures here? How do you deal with kids with severe allergies? How do you make sure that the food isn't cross-contaminated? Because that's a big issue in dining halls. And a lot of colleges I talked to were pretty good about communicating. The college specifically, I'm going to UT at Austin, and there they have a program, at least in their dining halls, where they just have labels on all of their stuff where it says, it's like food allergen labels. They're different colors, and they have like the major allergens on them. For example, they'll have a milk sticker if the thing contains milk. They'll have a peanut sticker if it has peanuts or if it's cross-contaminated with nuts. And that's kind of like one way they keep it safer for allergy students when we're going through those dining halls. And that's something I found out beforehand when I was, looking at applying to schools and just deciding, is it worth applying here? Like, because I don't want to apply, get accepted, and then find out, oh my gosh, I can't go there because of my allergies. Because that would be very bad.
Did you tour some of the schools in person or was it all virtually? I don't know. I'm trying to think of like when you would have applied if you're going now. So
Yes, I did a few in-person tours. I did a few virtual tours as well, just because of COVID. This past year, it's been very difficult to, get down to places to visit, and it's the places themselves haven't been giving in-person tours as much as usual. So when I would go in person, I would talk to, my tour guide. I would talk to whoever I could go get in contact with at health services and kind of just ask again their system for everything for allergies, just because I don't want to apply or I don't want to show up at the college on move-in day, go to the dining hall and be like, I don't feel safe eating any of this. So it was very much, show up and just, hey, how are you doing? Can you tell me everything about your allergy services here?
yeah. Yeah, that's great. I'm sure even as you're getting ready to move Saturday, you've started thinking about implementing certain things. Obviously, you mentioned a roommate, so you've had a conversation with your roommate. Are you bringing your mini fridge? So what sort of things have you implemented now in order to feel safe when you get down there?
Yeah, so when I get down there, I actually one thing that I'm getting as an accommodation for my allergies is I'm gonna have a kitchen in my own apartment area, because instead of going down as a freshman, I'm technically going down as a junior, because this past year I'm technically a sophomore, but this past year I did my whole associate's degree in that past year at community college. So I'm going down and getting this upperclassman housing with a kitchen in the room. And that's kind of my accommodation to help me, cook my own food, which I'm going to have to do with my allergy program that I'm in right now, cook some stuff to build up my tolerances. And I do have a roommate, like I said, and I've had conversations with him, like, just a heads up, I have allergies. If you could, keep peanut butter out of the room, I would really appreciate it, because when I'm around that kind of stuff, I'll start getting hives, I'll start getting an itchy throat. And when I get down there, I'm definitely going to have here's my EpiPen. Here's what to do if I have a reaction, just because, again, I'm moving across the country. So as someone with allergies, I'm not going to know anyone down there who knows 100% what to do if I'm having an allergic reaction. So it's super important for me to, reach out to my roommate right when I get there and be like, hey, here's what's going on. Like, he already knows I have allergies, but here's how you use an EpiPen if this were to happen. Hopefully it won't, though.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Brad, I think that's fantastic. And also just congratulations on knocking out 24 or 30 credits in 1 year.
Yeah, thank you. It was quite a bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, from all of your content and knocking that out, it must have been like 18 credits a semester plus a summer semester in there, or something outrageous, but way to go. I mean,
Yeah.
knocking 2 years out in 1 year, you made the best use of your time there, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I tried to. That was kind of my motivation, was slightly to get that upperclassman housing and, get more priority with that kitchen. But just because, having a kitchen in your room is super nice, especially when you're someone with allergies and you have to worry about all the cross contamination and where you get your food. So that was definitely a motivator, but thank you. I appreciate it.
That's the smartest thing that I've ever heard someone do, to take credits at community college. A lot of those gen eds transfer anyway.
Mhm.
And B, now you have upperclassman status. So you get all those perks.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
my mind is blown right now. If I
Yeah.
could insert that emoji, it would be right now.
Thank you. Yeah, it was very much not something that I thought of beforehand. It was COVID hit, I decided, we're going to wait a year. I don't want to go down there during this pandemic and just do my classes online, because they were completely online last year. I would have just been in a dorm doing them online. So I stayed at home and said, you know what? Let's go to community college. And if I'm going to go to community college, let's try and knock the whole thing out this year. Like, guns blazing, see what we can do.
I love it. And now, Brad, not everyone can finish an associate's in 1 year and jump up to junior level or junior level status. So what advice do you have for people listening to this who might be applying to colleges now, I mean, we really love your advocacy and how you stood up for yourself, and the fact that you called and you weren't shy about it. And obviously you got an outgoing personality, which helps. But, for our listeners and for their parents who are worried about, how to manage this transition, and you've done it masterfully, what else can you share with our folks about this?
I definitely think finding guidance and kind of getting connections with, your roommates, the people surrounding you is going to be super important in making sure you feel safe when you're going out to eat, when you're grabbing food, just communicating to other people. Like, I have this issue. If this happens, please be ready. Like, my stuff isn't here. I think that's like one of the most important things, because I know other people with allergies who are, shyer and more timid about, telling people that I have these issues, because it is it's a very difficult subject to talk about. So, and sometimes you feel like a burden almost to your friends when you're saying, like, watch out for me during this meal, even though it seems such a minor thing to go eat a meal. But just having those people around you who know, like, if this goes wrong, I've got your back. That's very comforting as someone who's, going to a place that's completely out of your comfort zone, such as college. And
Yeah.
like you mentioned earlier, a mini fridge in the room, I think for a dorm, that's a really good idea, especially if you're worried about, food in the dining halls. So I suggest that.
And so have you already told your roommate to be like, okay, look, I know this is going to be awkward, but I'm going to show you how to stab me on the leg. Have
Yeah.
you given the heads up of what's coming?
Exactly. That's exactly how I said it. And I make light of, situations like my allergies quite a bit. Even on my TikTok channel, I'm more comedic about, even though it's kind of a dreadful autoimmune disease, but yeah, it was pretty much, hey, I'm going to show you how to stab me in the leg once I arrive in Austin. So get ready for that.
And then I got to ask this, and then have you already begun to scout out some restaurants in Austin? Obviously, Austin is it's a great place for food. It's a great place for entertainment. I think you're going to have a fantastic time. But have you already begun scouting out locations like, okay, I know when I eat off campus, I want to go here or here?
Oh, very much so. And thank goodness for me, I'm going to a very big school. UT at Austin's like 50,000 kids, something ridiculous. So that was partially intentional on my part as well, just because I knew with a bigger school comes more dining hall options, more restaurant options, and just like that in itself, and having lots of options around me in the city was very much appealing as someone with a ton of allergies. Because I look at I know this isn't everywhere, but I'd look at some smaller colleges and I'd tour there and I'd be like, wow, there's like only one or two dining halls. There's one or two restaurants on campus, and I can only eat at one of those two restaurants. Like, that's, for someone who with a ton of allergies, it's kind of concerning, just because it's like, am I going to be eating the same food for a semester straight, or am I going to have to cook for myself for a semester straight and only have that option? So choosing a bigger school and, being able to scout out those restaurants all around and dining halls was very much something that I was looking forward to when I chose UT at Austin.
Yeah, that's great that you had that insight. I can't even remember what I was thinking when I was looking at schools. I don't even remember what my priorities were, but it sounds like you had a strong list and you were able to navigate that process really well. And you will have a ton of fun in Austin. 6th Street, Rainy Street, South Congress. I mean, there's so much down there. Food and non-food activities. You could, find a ton of stuff to do. I'm sure you will be in class a lot and you will be studying really, really hard, but it is a really fun city. So that's awesome. If you had an ideal school year, I know the last 3 years have been crazy because high school is totally different than community college, and Austin away from school, it's going to be totally different at UT. What's like an ideal school year look like for you?
In terms of classes, allergies,
Like, what are your expectations, and what would be, if you could map out like an ideal school year, what would it look like?
an ideal school year for me, no allergy problems, no asthma problems, make some friends, do some socializing, but also, keep a strong GPA, get the classes through, join some organizations. I personally, I like to dip my toes in lots of pools. I'm not one to kind of, pick one area and stick to it. So I kind of see myself, joining a ton of organizations, trying to get involved in a lot of clubs, trying to, see what's all out there, just because, it's such unfamiliar territory. And definitely I'm going to have to keep allergies in mind with that, because it's, like I said, it's unfamiliar territory and it's something I'm going to have to look out for. But I definitely want to just kind of experience everything while I'm there, just because, I'm small town kid from Bloomington, Illinois. Not that it's that small of a town, but I'm moving across the country. So it's definitely going to be a bit of a culture change.
Yeah, I hear you when you say that you wanted to choose a big school so that you could have a ton of options, whether it's dining, classes, roommates, friends, I definitely hear you in that. I also went to a bigger school. But I also joined a ton of organizations and clubs when I was there, and it helps make this big school so much more, not friendly, but so much more community like, and you get to build those like little pockets of friends that have same and similar interests, but then totally different ones. So, join a club sport, do a club, or, I started working at the gym even, and made a ton of friends that way because I saw all the regulars come in all the time. So it definitely makes a big school have more of a small town feel when you join those clubs and organizations. So I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great idea. I definitely will try and find some smaller communities within the grand picture of, this huge public university.
Yeah, I mean, one question I did have, you mentioned all plants that you're allergic to. So does that include wheat and barley and hops?
No, I'm actually not allergic to wheat at the moment. By plants, I mean, outside allergies. I'm allergic to all the trees, grasses, pollen. We got ragweed, the list goes on. But
okay, well,
yeah.
good.
You're asking about beer, right, Jason?
Would I be asking about that question? Yes, I would. I won't. And unsolicited dad advice here: get yourself a good fake. I understand. My son is a freshman or now a sophomore at Wake. And Wake Forest in North Carolina, different place. And clearly it's not quite the job that we did back in my days when I was in college. There's a lot of great places out there. So you're probably already very sophisticated and know that already, but I'm just going to throw it out at you.
Just because he has upperclassman status does not mean he is legally able to consume alcohol.
Yep. Hey, spoken like a mom already. Hey,
I know. Now I'm just thinking about my son having a fake ID and he's 3 months old.
you got 18 years, my friend, 18 years to work through that. Anyway, back to you, Brad. Hey, how'd you get interested in TikTok? I mean, I love it. It's great. You got it. Obviously, your persona seems to have caught on. I won't kid you. I deal with the government all the time. And I was howling last night, like lies the government, or what was it? Secrets the government doesn't tell you, or truths the government doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. So thank you. But how'd you get interested? And how'd you and then not only how'd you get interested, but how'd you build that audience? I mean, my goodness, you really popped there, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. I honestly, how I got interested, I love storytelling. I'm a storyteller. I'm a performer. I've always done acting. I've always, I've done writing on the side. I've done a lot of different aspects of life. They're just all centered around storytelling, which I really enjoy. And that's kind of what I really focus on in some of my content, and just entertaining people because I love it. So I started, I want to say early 2020. And early 2020, I just started popping out videos. And the way I blew up my account was I just figured consistency, because, 9 out of 10 people can post to TikTok, but only, 1 out of 10 of those people can post to TikTok every single day for a year straight. So probably even less than that. But so I just started consistently posting. I made content every post I made, even though my first post, I encourage you never to go look at my first post, but they're very bad. But every experience got better and better. I learned more and more from every video I made. It grew to what it is now. I'm making a lot of, right now I'm doing some POV series, which I just, it's storytelling and acting in content form. So that's been great. I've gotten a few million views this past week over some of the stories that I've been making up. But again, it's just consistency. It's just, repetitively posting every day, learning from your posts, studying your analytics, and finding your niche, kind of finding out what you want your platform to be about. And mine's always been storytelling, in the sense where I'll have comedy videos in there, but there's very much an essence of storytelling in a lot of my major content.
Yeah, and I was howling at the one with your dad about, well, I'm just going to leave it at that for others to go and watch. It was dad on son, subtle violence was going to be implied. It was your dad was a good sport. I love the one with your little bro, though. That one is hilarious. And Brad, while we have you here, you mentioned earlier that you sort of address the food allergies in some of the TikToks. Are there any specifically you want to kind of give us a quick description of?
Yeah. So what I always try to advocate a little bit for food allergies within my TikToks, just because that's such a big part of my identity. And I always try and share like bits of me throughout my content, just to let my audience get to know me. And like I said, I'm a storyteller. I tell lots of stories about, times I've had allergic reactions, some of which were in comedic fashion. I definitely took a lighter approach to telling the stories of me almost dying, which I know is not the most comfortable stories to tell, but I try and make them comfortable and like make people hear them out and kind of get awareness of them by telling them comically. One story, for example, I told a story about how I went on a date and had an allergic reaction and had to go to the hospital. And during the date, when I had the allergic reaction, I didn't want the date to know that I was having an allergic reaction because, it's embarrassing for me at the moment as a 16-year-old boy in high school to, have an allergic reaction when I'm trying to play it cool on a date. Like, they put cheese in my burrito, which was something where I didn't feel like I should have cut open the burrito. I should have been like, there's cheese in here. But I was like, no, I'm not going to cut into my burrito. Like, I told them no cheese. We're probably good. I don't want to cut into it and look like a weirdo cutting into my burrito. I take a bite, swallow. And I'm like, I am so dumb. There's cheese in the burrito. I'm starting to go break out in hives. At first I'm hiding it. I'm just like putting my burrito down, not eating, drinking lots of water to kind of like flush that down my system. My date's like, are you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I tell you, 5 minutes later, I was having to take a Benadryl. I was going to the doctor's, completely out of it. She was driving me. It was the most awkward situation ever. But those are the types of stories that I like to tell on my account. I like to kind of advocate in my allergies in that kind of way, in a comedic fashion. I think it's a good way to, spread awareness.
She must have been something for you to play it that cool. I mean, you must have been like, okay, I can't screw this up. Okay, so where's the epi come out? That's what I want to know. It's like, because you got all the signs there. And at what point do you say, excuse me, I just need to step away for a moment or two? I mean, or don't leave us at the dinner table. Take us to the next step, sir.
Yeah. So that situation, I actually didn't need an EpiPen. Thank goodness. My reaction, I didn't have too much of the cheese. So it was very much a light reaction. It was just me breaking out in hives, getting all red, getting very, like, I needed Benadryl. Benadryl, kind of put me out of it because I did take so much, but I did not get to the point where it got so bad I needed to take an EpiPen. Thank goodness. But it was very much Benadryl. I'm clearly out of it. I'm going to need you to drive me to the doctors if this is okay, because I don't want to have a problem. Here's my EpiPen. Like, I don't need it yet. I'll tell you if I do, or you'll know if I do. But let's go to the doctor.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, so this date's going to take a detour. We're going to go to the doctor. I'm sorry, Tiffany.
Yeah, I'm just putting myself in the shoes of this girl sitting
Oh, I
there,
feel
blushing,
terrible.
starting to sweat, break out into hives, and she's casually eating her burrito, thinking that it's something that she said, maybe something that she did. You know, do I
Yeah.
have lettuce in my teeth? Like, what's going on? I'm just, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, that girl.
Oh
I'm
man.
glad you were okay, obviously.
Yes.
Well,
I don't know, did you guys go on a second date or
No.
no?
Um, we did not.
okay. Hey,
We,
hey,
yeah, it was cool.
one and
Well, now
done. You
you know to
found
check
out
the
she couldn't
burrito.
roll with you. I'm sorry, Tiffany.
Now you know to check the burrito.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's a life lesson. Always check the burrito.
that's right.
And so, Brad, where can folks find you on TikTok and on Instagram? I know I didn't want to hype up the Instagram account because it seems like it's good. I mean, great. You got 50,000, 56,000 followers or something of that nature. But I mean, so where can our folks find you?
Yeah, so I have two sets of profiles actually on Instagram and TikTok. One is Brad Martin _. You can find me on TikTok. My Instagram's linked on YouTube, all Brad Martin _. Those are my major accounts. I do a lot of my comedy, my POV stuff there. And then I also have my Rad Martin _, which is just Brad without the B. So Rad Martin _ content is a bunch of reading and writing stuff. Because like I said, I do some writing on the side. I like to story tell. So I do a lot of reading and writing content. And I have an Instagram with about 90K on there for my writing account. And I have a TikTok with about 300K, which is less than my 1.7 million, but also not too shabby for a writing account. So definitely, if you want to check me out on either, I would appreciate it.
I'll
Yeah,
definitely follow.
I did check out your Instagram because I do not have a TikTok. I guess you can watch some of the TikTok videos if you don't watch it, but I don't know how to do that. And that's showing my age, I guess. But I did check you out on Instagram. And I watched all three of the emoji videos. I do agree with most of them. We need more emojis in our life to be able to convey the feelings and thoughts that we have without using words.
Oh, exactly. We need all of the emojis. I
Yes.
want every single animal logged into that.
Yes.
And maybe some burritos too, with a big red thing going across it.
Yes, just for me, a burrito, big red cross. You know, I'll throw it into conversations whenever I'm, madly uncomfortable, and they'll just know, oh, we better cool it. We better cool it with Brad.
All right. Well, Brad, thank you so very much for coming on and sharing with our audience all the things you've learned and just, you motivated, you humored us and you made us laugh and you taught us a little information. So I think your storytelling has continued today. So we really appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you so much for having me again, Jason and Tiffany. It has been a great time.
Awesome. And if you need anything from us at FAIR while you're at UT, we got your back.
I appreciate that. Thank you again.
So that was a great conversation that we had with Brad. I'm glad we were able to have him on to get a TikTok star's perspective. But we want to continue the conversation about succeeding in college with FAIR CEO Lisa Gable. Welcome, Lisa.
Great to see you guys.
Lisa, what advice do you have for students getting ready to enter or who are already in college to get the most out of their experience?
Well, the most important thing to remember is that you will never have a 4 years like you have for the next 4 years. And that means give yourself the time to use the first 2 years, test out different ideas, go to different classes, expand your universe, really make sure that you get the entire college experience by actually having an opportunity to delve into areas that you may not know were of interest to you. And then you choose your major, but make sure you have fun too.
Yeah, I think, for me as a father who has a son in college, your advice is great. At certain times of the semester, I feel like I need to lean a little heavier on one message rather than the other. But yeah, and Lisa, obviously you've put your daughter through college, SMU, a fantastic institution of learning. And what advice did you give her that would be relevant to some of the students going through it or getting ready to go through it now? I mean, there's a lot of 17 or 18-year-olds out there wondering, okay, I got to get this essay in and the applications are due. And, how can we best prepare them for what's about to come?
Well, first and foremost, one of the things I always want to make clear is that I am a big supporter of making sure that our teen advisory group members have the opportunity to get recommendations from FAIR because you've been so incredibly involved with our work. And really, you truly are the next generation that's going to lead us out of one of the biggest turmoils our country has ever faced. And so one of the things that I write in each of the letters is about the fact that this next generation of students going in, that class of 2022, is so critically important because we need people who are resilient. And I think that's one thing you need to learn in college, and you all are facing it in unprecedented times. No one has gone through what you've gone through in college and in school. The high school experiences that you have been very different. The college experiences that you have been different. And so the key is there's going to be a lot of anxiety. And what you've got to do is just recognize it is what it is. There's nothing any of us can do about it. But knowing that you have FAIR here supporting you, knowing that you have your family supporting you is critically important. And then focus on the step-by-step process. I think one thing that occurs in any situation in life is we can become very overwhelmed. And so you want to take it in bite-sized chunks. Okay, I've got to get my letter done. Let me focus on getting out, the request for my letters. Number 2, I need to write my essay. And so you just check each item off the box. And then you focus on making sure that you give yourself the time. Hopefully, you're going to have an opportunity to visit the colleges in person. In some cases, possibly because of the Delta variant, your family may be making alternative choices. So if you don't have a chance to get on the college campus, make sure you thoroughly research what kids are saying who are at the school. Reach out to your network of friends. One thing that FAIR has is an incredible network of people who've been through college. And you want to reach out and ask people how good the school is at taking care of your needs with food allergies. And then also asking them other questions about the school. What did they like? What didn't they like? What would they advise you as you're coming in? But again, I think my number one piece of advice is it's a step-by-step process. It's snackable moments. Take each item, finish it off, take the next item, finish it off, and don't let yourself become too anxious about the process.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we had a webinar back in August, and it's available on our platform, but titled "Back to School: Managing the Social and Emotional Effects of Food Allergies in the Time of COVID." So everything that you just said, Lisa, is bundled up into that webinar. Take it one step at a time. I think from the application process, like you were saying, just speaking to everyone on campus, whether it's a student that that already goes there, the tour guide at the university when you are on campus, or someone through the admissions office or Office of Disability if you are getting accommodations or seeking accommodations for your food allergy. The more you know, the more you're informed, the better prepared you're going to be in any situation. So that's great.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing I reminded my daughter of is college is just one aspect of your resume. And so you get so anxious about the 3 colleges that you just have to go to. And the reality is you have other opportunities. You have graduate school, you have work experiences, you have internships. Remember that this moment is not the critical decision point in your life. And people sometimes think that it is. And so they become very upset, maybe if they don't get in one place they want to go, or they become so anxious. But the reality is there are multiple stages in the early parts of your career. And I would put college as that starting point of your career, that you have the opportunity to differentiate yourself from the pack and to focus on things that are important to what you want to do with your life. And so remember, it's one piece of the puzzle. It's not the entire game.
Yeah, and one way to, help yourself out when you're at college is actually, it sounds so stupid, but, I took a bunch of big lecture classes when I went to Syracuse, and the best advice I ever got was get to know your professors, right? Go to their office hours. And, that made such an impact because no longer was I Jason Linde, one of 300 in History 105. I was Jason Linde, the guy who likes Bobby Kennedy and had some good questions about Bay of Pigs and this sort of thing. And so all of a sudden, by doing that, you no longer, you no longer become one of a crowd, and you get to build the relationships for people who can write recommendations letters for you later on. So yeah, Lisa, you are spot on that guidance.
Yeah,
Can you all? I
and
was a very anxious freshman in college. I was so anxious about everything. That was the message that my parents gave to me.
yeah, no, that's smart. I wish that I had gone to more office hours when I was a freshman. The transition from high school classes to college courses is quite steep if you're not ready for that. Um, but no, that's great advice, especially as you get into your major. Those are definitely the professors that are going to be writing letters of recommendation. So you have not only FAIR that can help you out in that aspect, but also your professors. So one thing that I wanted to bring up, and you can speak a little bit more about it, but FAIR offers the FAIR College Search Tool.
We do. And it's one thing that I was so excited about when I came into FAIR is the number of colleges and universities that Christy Grimm and team have been working with for a number of years to make sure that they provide the best resources as well as make accommodations for kids with food allergies. And so the search engine that we have online is one that you definitely want to visit. We have over 700 colleges and universities in that search engine, and you can delve into a wide variety of areas from the dorms to the types of food they offer in the cafeteria, areas that they're prioritizing. It's an opportunity for FAIR to provide you with the baseline information you need as you're making these important decisions, because we also want you to be safe when you go off to college, and your moms and dads, so give them a great deal of comfort. And so moms and dads who are watching, go into our college and university platform and really do your research and make sure that you all understand, and that when you go visit those colleges, that you ask them questions about it. But we are thrilled with the partnerships in this particular program. It's one of the best assets that we have.
Yeah, it's definitely a great jumping off point when you're trying to narrow down your schools. I mean, in the States, there are so many colleges and universities. And for someone with food allergies, you want to make sure that they can accommodate you before you get to campus, because you don't want any surprises once you get there, and you don't want to add any additional stress, as we've already mentioned, that the course load is steep. It's a steep learning curve. But anyway, you want to make sure that you have good information in order to make informed decisions about where you're going to school. So the FAIR College Search can help you narrow down some of those choices and kind of get a bird's eye view of what accommodations they have in housing, dining, emergency services, all that you need to stay safe at your new home away from home.
Absolutely. It is a fantastic program, and we are so excited to be able to offer it to you. And it's growing by leaps and bounds, whatever that word is, leaps and bounds. It's growing and growing. So keep checking back with it, because we are actually adding new colleges and universities regularly. And so, before you finally make that decision, go back, take a look, do your research, and hopefully it provides you with the information that you and your family are looking for.
Yeah, I think that's just fantastic guidance. And, Lisa, is there anything else you'd like to share with us during this month of September before we close out and look forward to October, which obviously is Teal Pumpkin? It's hard to believe that the Teal Pumpkins will be out soon, but I just want to give you the final word.
Well, I appreciate it. I am so amazingly proud of each and every one of you. It has been such a thrill to get to know our teens and our young college students over the last number of years. And so many of you have been wonderful staying in contact and letting me know what you're doing. But you all have done incredible things during a time that no one could truly comprehend. And we at FAIR are just incredibly proud of what you're doing today and what we know you're going to do in the future, because you are the future. You are the ones that are going to go into technology and agriculture and business and science and medicine and all those fields that will make a difference for everyone grappling with food allergies. So good luck, and let us know where you land.
That's right. And don't forget, government's a good place too. And so just wanted to throw that plug in there as well. One other point, just for everyone listening, is don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcast platforms. We love hearing what you have to say. We're always looking for great feedback. By you doing that, it just boosts our standing. We really appreciate it. And so, Tiffany, any final words before we sign off this month?
Nope, I think we've covered it all. So look forward to seeing you guys next month at the table with Fair.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Great to see you.